It's getting hot out there, but before you take off all your clothes, we have put together an entire week of no-heat cooking recipes for you to enjoy. How cute is that? So this week promises to bring the heat, and with temperatures climbing up into the 90s, the last place you want to be is in a hot kitchen, am I right? So all week long we are cooking up ideas using no heat, and kicking off the week is my favorite foodie. She wouldn't call herself a chef, but she is the host and editor-at-large of Your Last Meal podcast, Rachel Bell, ladies and gentlemen. Hi,
Shall we hug again?
Oh, yes. I love having you on the show.
I love being here.
For many reasons. But one of the things that I love is that you have this great recipe. So what are we making today?
We are making a watermelon carpaccio with feta and pistachios and like a very tasty dressing and mint. And it allows you to say things like, I carried a watermelon, which anyone from our generation understands. Recently, though, I had a run-in where I said that and everyone was blank-faced.
Yeah,
I was like,
that means you're getting old.
Yeah, you got to watch that movie.
I know.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, Dirty Dancing. Okay.
I carried a watermelon.
Yeah. Should we start?
All right, let's get started.
Okay, so I'm going to give you a job while I am going to carve this watermelon.
Thank you.
Can you make the dressing?
Sure, I got you.
So it is 2 tablespoons of white wine vinegar and 2 tablespoons of olive oil, so you can start there.
Okay.
I know a lot of people really have a hard time picking a watermelon.
Yeah, do you have any secrets for that?
Well, I have the secret that I heard that seems to have worked for me so far, which is, so, you know, I think everybody tries to, well, everyone's, you know, you're in the store and it's like percussion, they're banging and it's like, hello, little baby, yeah. What I was told, which has worked for me, is to look for watermelons that have a light spot on it. You know, they're green usually.
Like a yellow
spot.
Okay.
Because that means that it was sitting in the field long enough to fully ripen. So it hadn't seen the sunlight. So that's what I've been doing.
But you know what? Actually, that rings a bell. You said 2 tablespoons of olive oil,
2 tablespoons,
right?
yeah.
That rings a bell because, you know, we have the produce, our produce friends come on here sometimes, and they said the same thing. So
they did?
Actually,
I'm in line with your produce friends.
You are. I know all the people in produce, man. I know
you have
people.
connections.
By the way, so I got this in here. Do I need to have anything else?
Yeah, so add a 1/2 teaspoon of honey. And we were just saying there's a little trick for that too, because anyone who has measured honey knows you're like, it's not coming out of the measuring spoon. So if you use oil in the teaspoon first, then the honey will slide right out, which is a really nice.
I didn't use, it's such a great tip. I didn't use it, but I did oil up my teaspoon. So it would come out.
Yep.
And here we go. It's still, it's a little slow, but that's okay.
It's a great tip, everyone.
It's a great tip, ladies and gentlemen.
It works every time. And then, let's see, I'm thinking there's one more thing I'm missing. Is that it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, 1/2 lime. The juice of 1/2 lime. Yeah.
All right.
So I made this a few weeks ago. Actually, that's not true at all. My friend made this, and it was so good that I said, give me the recipe. But we were going.
I love the transparency.
Yeah. I just cannot tell a lie. I'm a regular George Washington, complete with wooden teeth. My friends and I were going to the Barbie movie, and like everybody else, we wore pink, but I'm incapable of having an event without a theme. So I said, let's have a pink potluck first. So everyone had to make pink food for the Barbie movie, and that's where this watermelon came in.
Okay, this is smart, this watermelon carpaccio.
Yes, and besides this watermelon, many beets were harmed in the making of this Barbie dinner. We had a beet pasta and beets with tahini and
I love a beet, but I bet the next day you're like, am I dying? Oh no, it's just the beet.
It's true. We all talked about it, like everyone in the morning, remember what has happened.
Yep. So you don't call your colon, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, listen.
Yeah.
I'm just going to move forward from that talk.
Okay.
Because I want to talk about your Last Meal podcast and how you've got some very exciting news, so please share.
Yeah, so I've been making my podcast, Your Last Meal, for about 7 years now, where I interview celebrities about what they would choose to eat for their last meal, and then I bring on other guests to talk about the history or the culture or the science of that food. And she has a new home. So I am now with Cascade Public Media, CPM, which is KCTS 9, and Crosscut, it's the Seattle PBS affiliate. So my coworkers are Big Bird.
I love it.
The Ghost of Julia Child, Rick Steves. I mean, all of them.
Obviously.
Yeah. So it's very exciting to be there in a new place and bringing the show along. So yeah, I'm liking it.
So delightful to hear.
It's very fun.
I mean, it's just a great podcast. If you've never listened, this is one of those that you will automatically become a staple because it's wonderful. It's fun. It's fascinating. The guests are fabulous.
All the Fs.
All the Fs. So you've had a couple of you mentioned the Barbie movie. You actually interviewed Greta Gerwig, the director.
I did.
What was her last meal?
Well, can I give it away?
No,
I mean,
okay,
I feel like people need to listen.
Don't do it, yeah.
Yes.
You gotta
so
watch.
I have been a fan of another F there, a fan for of Greta Gerwig for so long.
Yeah.
Before she was directing, when she was just acting, did you ever see Frances Ha? Such a good movie.
Negative, I did not.
Her husband directed it, Noah Baumbach. Which, by the way, have you noticed with the Barbie movie that he never gets mentioned because it's such a girl power? He co-wrote it with her. Nobody cares. He's never been mentioned.
I did not know that. No.
Yeah. I mean, it's in the credits, but everyone's like, avert your eyes.
Avert your eyes.
But yeah, Greta, of course. And by the way, so Carpaccio, if you haven't had, is usually made with meat. It's like very thinly sliced. So that's what I've done.
So that's what you
with
did
this
here.
Watermelon is we've just cut it pretty thin.
Okay.
Yeah, you can go as thin as you want, but you know you don't want it to fall apart. So where's our platter? I'll have you help me arrange this.
All right.
So yes, Greta Gerwig, of course, the writer and director of the Barbie movie. And she is very funny and whimsical and light.
Oh, I love that.
And her last meal, one of the things is a food that her best friend makes her for her birthday every year.
Aww.
Which I love. And I like immediately Googled this woman's name to be like, oh, she's not even famous. I like this even better.
I love that. What about Bear Grylls? You interviewed him too. Who is that one like?
I loved Bear Grylls. So for people who don't know, he's this like, how would you describe like this adventure outdoor?
Oh, I think, he's an outdoor foodie.
Risk taker. Crazy person. And it's kind of not a surprise because he is, this person who lives outside and he's like in these jungles that he's kind of paleo, which is sometimes bugs me. But he was so charming because he doesn't even eat vegetables though.
He just eats nothing but meat?
He likes a lot of butter.
Okay.
He eats a lot of red meat.
Oof.
He eats everything that sounds like it's not good for your heart, and he says it's fine.
So he's not gonna like this. Let's finish this up, actually.
Okay, yeah, so drizzle, drizzle, drizzle.
Drizzle this.
These are pickled red onions, which is the easiest thing to make.
By the way, apparently everyone pickles their own red onions except for me, so we're going to talk about that in another segment.
Get on board. Put the feta on.
Okay.
And to make pickled red onions, it takes a half an hour, so don't be intimidated by a pickle. It's just red onion. You heat up some water and vinegar and sugar, and you can add black peppercorn if you want.
Okay.
Salt, and then you pour it over. You let it sit for half an hour, and that's it. But
this looks delicious.
They're really good on tacos too. But yeah, this kind of thing is like when you don't want to cook, but you actually want
something that
like a lot of flavor too.
That's
and
gorgeous.
texture.
Yeah,
it is. You want to do some pistachios?
On.
Yes.
My hands are dirty.
Oh, you do. You got.
That's okay.
We got a case of cheese hand over here.
I got a cheese hand.
Yeah.
Mine very cheesy.
That's right.
All right, so, and then we add a little mint to this as well.
Yeah, and then the flaky salt also.
Here's
Can I do the mint? Because I want to do this silly thing that someone taught me.
Can I do the flaky salt?
Please do. So I was told to bring out the flavor of an herb. You smack it.
Yeah, you show that herb.
Oh, smell it.
Oh,
yeah.
You smacked that smell right out of that herb.
Smacked mint. Oh, this looks really pretty.
All right, this is gorgeous.
And this took us
I'm gonna try
like 5 minutes to put together. And look how pretty. This is a real
This is awesome.
stunner.
Okay, hold on, let me try this.
Make the TV face. Oh, wow.
Oh my God, you know what's weird?
What?
It's like, don't expect a sweet piece of watermelon when you eat that. Because it definitely has a very savory flavor.
With the vinaigrette.
And it's delicious. It's very good.
I'm just going to keep decorating
You keep
this
decorating
until you make me leave.
You keep decorating, and Rachel is, by the way,
forgot to smack it.
Smack the mint. She is sharing a recipe plus mint smacking. Just text the word recipe to 206-448-4545. We'll send it right to your phone. Whew, I don't know about all of you, but it feels too darn hot to turn on the oven. So all this week we are helping you keep cooking with no-cook meal ideas. Joining us today is our culinary guide to the outdoors. Chef Corso is the author of Outdoor Eats, fast and easy, trail-tested recipes that you can enjoy just about anywhere. And he's here today with 2 meals that don't require any heat. Welcome back to New Day, Chef Corso. Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having me back. It's been great to be here.
I love this because they are trail tested. So not only could you make this at home, but if you're out on the trails, you know, because we're just trying to make that last bit of summer count. This is great.
Absolutely. Yeah. I'm on a mission to elevate the outdoor food experience with fast, easy, tasty recipes, pocket-sized cookbooks, and for summertime cooking is, you know, you don't need to use this burner all the time.
You don't. No. So what are we making today?
So we are making a grain bowl concept, and actually 2 grain bowl recipes here today.
Okay.
And one is going to be a pizza grain bowl, so really great recipe to cook up with your kids.
Yes.
And then also a mandarin grain bowl recipe.
Oh, yum.
So we're going to go ahead and get these cooking here, or not really cooking,
but we're going to get things hopping? I don't know.
Hopping, prepping, I don't know, that kind of thing.
We're going to get things mixing.
Going to get things mixing.
Okay.
And so what we're actually going to use today for one of our bowls is a camp pot.
Oh, this is neat. Oh, does that collapse?
It does. It does collapse down.
I gotta give me one of these.
Pretty cool, right?
Okay.
So we are going to use for both of our grain bowls these grain mixes that are already pre-cooked.
Oh, fantastic.
Really awesome. So that will be the first thing we put in our bowl here.
Okay.
And then what I'm going to give to you is a green pepper.
Yes. Would you like me to chop that up?
Yep. And I have a foldable campy chef knife for you.
This is so fun. I can't believe we're doing this total camping stuff. I gotta get me one of these. Where did you get this?
You can get that at outdooreats.com.
Okay.
So we're gonna get our grain mix in there, and then what do you like on your pizza?
I mean everything.
Everything?
I like pepperoni.
Okay.
I like, you know, sausage, but whatever you got here, I'm ready to eat it.
All right, well, we've got some nice artisan pepperoni here.
Okay.
We're gonna make a little bit of a supreme pizza style. And yeah, just a quick little slice on those green peppers will be great. So I'm gonna add some olives and some baby tomatoes. And for our cheese, we are gonna be using these cute little baby bells that are, you know, already in your pack already for snacking.
And so easy to like take with you because it's got the plastic around it.
Absolutely.
The kids can't, you know, well, the kids are going to try to eat it before you make the bowl, but
for
that's,
sure.
you know.
But that's okay. Maybe you give them a little snack before.
Hey, that's all right.
Yeah, you can also use a string cheese.
You want me to put this in here?
Yes, please.
Okay.
So we'll put that in there, and then we're just going to build a little bit of a vinaigrette right on top. So I have a little bit of vinegar and a little bit of oil. What I love about this recipe, though, is you can really choose your own adventure as far as
what to put on it,
what to put put in it. You can make it Hawaiian, you can make it supreme, you can make it just pepperoni and jalapeno.
Speaking my language.
And then what I've got in here, you want to smell that?
Yes. Oh, that smells like a pizza.
Smells like a pizza. So we've got some garlic powder, some chili flake, and some Italian seasoning right in here. And I love to pack up my spices right in these nice little tins that go right in your backpack.
Oh, okay.
So then we're going to give this a nice stir.
This is amazing. You can't, everything you need to cook for camping fits in this pouch. I don't even think my makeup would fit in that pouch.
Yeah, it's really good to stay organized on the trail.
So cool.
So I've got my lighters and my sporks and my utensils all right in there.
Where did the idea for Outdoor Eats come from?
So Outdoor Eats came about from my hiking and backpacking trips into Mount Rainier and North Cascades, and I'm also a classically trained chef. I've been in the food industry for over 20 years, and food has always been a really big component for my life.
Yeah.
But I noticed that a lot of folks were just boiling water, adding it to a bag, or just eating jerky and granola bars for days on end.
Yeah.
And I would rather eat something really tasty, have something to get excited for at the end of my hike.
Especially when you have been hiking all day or you're out there. I mean, there's nothing that will make you more hungry than that. Okay, I have to try it. I'm gonna grab one of.
I've got one here
all right.
for you.
Yes.
So what I recommend for these grain bowls is that you let them marinate.
Okay.
So let them marinate for at least a half hour. Right. But that's okay. We're doing this for TV here today.
Okay.
But does that
marinate or not? That's delicious.
That's awesome. Good. I'm glad you like it.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna eat that like every day.
So it's really good.
That's a great idea for like lunch.
Really great no-cook lunch option.
Okay. All right, as we're gonna make this mandarin bowl, because I'm very excited to try this, let's talk about the fact that not only are you a well-known chef, you're also an author of cookbooks, but now you have your own TV show.
Yeah, so we produced a TV show this year called Outdoor Eats TV, and the whole mission is to elevate the outdoor food experience. Here, I'm gonna have you open that up as well. So we make this together, and it's a combination of a classic food show combination with a travel show and adventure show. Yeah. So we're putting that all together so we go on hiking and backpacking trips and adventures and teach you how to eat well outdoors.
That is so awesome.
So for our mandarin grain bowl option, we've got our grain mix again. We've got some small packable mandarin oranges. If you want to throw a couple of those snap peas in there, that would be great.
All right.
Yep, perfect. And then I'm going to drizzle in a little bit of sesame oil.
How can people watch your show?
So the show is airing nationwide on Outside TV currently.
Okay.
You can also follow along on the YouTube channel, Chef Corso, to be able to find it there. And then we are throwing a party on Thursday at the REI downtown.
Nice.
So we are going to do an episode viewing and mini cooking workshop, and tickets are still available for that on Thursday of this week. So look forward to seeing you out there. What are you doing on Thursday? You wanna come?
I definitely want to be there. I got to get one of these knives, actually.
For sure. So we're just throwing in our ingredients here, and we're going to finish it off with
just like a handful of nuts?
Doesn't
matter what kind?
Handful of trail mix, whatever you got. And we've also got a little bit of ground ginger you could throw in there. And I also have some sesame seeds.
Okay. Oh, I don't know why I was going to smell them.
I don't think they really smell like much.
No, they don't.
And then if you notice, for this recipe, we are going to mix it up here in
a bag.
In a Ziploc bag, but I love using reusable Ziplocs.
I think that's so key.
And
I have a quick question for you about that.
Yeah.
Because I use a lot of reusable things when I'm camping, and sometimes I feel like I'm being paranoid about cleaning them out. There's not really, is there a huge danger if you don't get every last thing?
There's a thing out there called Hiker Clean, and it's really it's nice to get most of the bits out and not contribute to the squirrels' lunches out there. But there's the ability just to get it mostly clean, and then you can really sanitize it when you get home.
That is so good.
How was that? Crunchy, tasty.
Literally, I think you've made 2 staples for the rest of my life.
That's awesome. Well, that's the thing about this grain bowl idea is you can really make it in a whole bunch of different flavors, from Chinese to Japanese to Italian to classic American.
Oh my gosh. Well, our time here is up, and I'm going to have you stand by because I got to have questions for you in the commercial break. But first time, Chef Corso is sharing the recipe for his pizza grain bowl with us. Just text the word recipe to 206-448-4545, and we'll send a link right to your phone. And don't miss the first episode of Outdoor Eats TV, airing right now on Bally Sports and Outside TV. All right, well, when the weather is hot, the last thing you want to do is turn on a hot stove. Luckily, we have you covered with no heat recipes, and my guest today is the author of no less than 50 cookbooks and a James Beard Award winner. Welcome to New Day. Welcome back, I should say, James Raioli.
Thank you. Thanks for having me back.
I love having you here. Usually we make cocktails together, and I'm so excited that you've got not just a dish, but a no-heat cooking dish. So tell me, just, you've been at this cooking thing for a while. 50 cookbooks.
50 cookbooks. So I work with chefs and restaurants and bartenders to help assemble their books. So I have a boutique publishing company that specializes in culinary books.
That is amazing. And you are, excuse me, been very busy this last summer overall. So this is kind of a great dish to make when you got really no time, you don't want to heat up the house. And so what are we making today?
Yeah, so this is heirloom tomatoes with a garlicky cream sauce. Right now it's tomato season, and this is very simple, and it's a nice alternative to the caprese, which is the basil and the mozzarella oil and vinegar. So we're going to make a cream sauce and drizzle it over the tomatoes.
All right. So how do we get started?
Okay, so we're going to have 1 cup of mayo, and you could just scoop that in.
I love mayo. Anything with mayo.
Mayo's excellent. Hellmann's or Best Food is a great brand for mayonnaise.
Yep. Okay.
And then we're going to add a 1/2 cup of evaporated milk.
Evaporated milk.
Evaporated milk.
Okay.
And then we're going to press 1 large clove of garlic.
Okay. Raw garlic too is got so much flavor. Did I do this right? I told James I've never used this before.
Yes. Yeah. Let's see. Here you go.
Perfect. Excuse me. All right. Oh, that's so great. All right.
And then we'll just scrape the bottom out of it. There you go.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right.
And then a large pinch of salt, sea salt.
Okay.
Which is basically about a 1/4 teaspoon.
Okay.
You can eyeball it. That's perfect.
So about this?
Yeah, you can put it all in.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, perfect.
I'll put the rest over my shoulder.
There you go. A few cracks of the pepper.
Okay.
And that's it.
That's it?
That's it.
Easy peasy.
And now just you whisk it until it's nice and smooth and creamy. It should be the consistency of like a thin pancake batter.
Okay.
And then what you want to do before you serve it is you want to chill it.
Okay.
And it's best to make it a day or two ahead of time.
That was going to be my next question.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm glad. No, you're reading my mind. Okay.
So that's it.
And it won't separate, even if you make it like a day or two?
No, it won't.
Okay.
In fact, it'll be better because the flavors will meld and it's and you want to serve it chilled, which is what we have here. This one has been made the day before and it's been chilled.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at that. Now, salt. Does the kind of salt matter? I've always kind of wondered that because I have, pink Himalayan salt. I've got, my Morton salt, my kosher salt. What is the best salt to use?
It's really up to you. Now the Himalayan salt is very salty, so usually you want to cut back.
Okay, so use less.
Use less if you have Himalayan, but kosher salt, sea salt, table salt, it's really up to you. And then the tomatoes. So if we have a moment to talk about the tomatoes.
Let's talk tomatoes because I know there's an abundance of them right now. People love tomatoes, and just tell us the difference and what really goes good with this meal.
Well, you definitely want to use a fresh and ripe tomato.
Okay.
Heirloom are best because nothing has been modified in the growing. And unfortunately, that's what you see a lot in the big box stores or the supermarkets are the hothouse or the tomato on the vine, which are these, which are grown to be perfectly shaped, red.
So they're lying.
They're lying?
Are they perfect?
Well, not with flavor. From appearance and for storage and shipping, they're perfect.
Okay.
But what they've bred out of them is the flavor, versus the heirloom tomato, which has not lost its flavor. Now it's not as beautiful.
And it's like a heart.
Right, and they grow in very odd shapes. Mm-hmm. And they're very, very fragile. But the flavor is phenomenal because nothing's been modified with the tomato. So heirloom tomatoes are the best, and they come in large sizes, small ones, cherry tomatoes. But as long as you have a fresh, ripe tomato, you're good to go.
Do you have a favorite?
I like the heirloom tomatoes. I also like the Cherokee. It's a dark purple heirloom tomato.
Okay. All right.
Those are very nice. But no, not really. We have persimmon. Those are persimmon tomatoes. Kumatos, which are like a big chocolate cherry.
Oh.
So it's really your preference.
I really think it's fascinating when you think about how these are just also hold such different flavors. Is there a way to cut them? Because I know that a lot of times when you cut them, I'm worried about bruising them or making them not look pretty like this.
Well, the biggest tip I would say is having a super sharp knife.
Okay.
You don't want to smash the tomato. Mm-hmm. If you have a dull knife, it's very difficult to cut slices.
Got it. Okay.
But as long as you have a sharp knife, you could come in slices. You can come in wedges. If you have the small cherry tomatoes, just have them.
Okay. So what do we do with the sauce now? Just drizzle it over?
Yeah. So if you want to, here, we'll just move this.
Okay.
And then you just drizzle. Yeah, you drizzle the salt. Now,
I'll let you do it.
Okay, sure.
Yeah, you do it because you'll do it prettier than me.
Sure. Now, what I did is I salted the tomatoes. You want to salt them.
Okay.
And then maybe just a couple cracks of pepper over the top.
I got you there.
This is right before serving.
Okay.
Perfect.
Okay.
And then we'll just drizzle the sauce. Like I said, this has been chilled.
Okay. That's so just a little bit.
Yeah, you don't need a lot.
How long does this last for in the refrigerator?
About 3-4 days.
Okay, so I could do this once or twice.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then
it's a really little amount.
And then just a sprinkling of sprinkling of oregano.
Okay.
So the recipe makes about a cup and 3/4.
All right.
So about with 3 pounds of tomatoes, you're looking about a serving of about 8 people.
Okay. All right, so truth time. I'm not a huge fan of tomatoes. I told James that, but I'm going to try it because I am all about, getting those, as my executive producer says, no thank you bites. But as I try this, tell me, what are you working on now?
I'm working with NFL legend Terry Bradshaw and his family on a cookbook. Terry has a bourbon line, Bradshaw Bourbon, so I'm working with him. I'm also working with Rich Coman, where this recipe comes from. Rich, if you're not familiar, is the co-owner of Roche Harbor.
Oh, wow.
And we partnered together on the Roche Harbor cookbook, and now we're doing his new book, which is 90 5-star recipes for the home cook. So these
Wow.
are Rich's recipes from his treasure trove, and this is one of the 5-star recipes. Hopefully it tasted 5-star.
I can't wait to actually try the recipes too. This is beautiful. Speaking of recipes, James is actually kind enough to share his recipe for this heirloom tomato and garlic white sauce. It is, by the way, delicious, as the first heirloom tomato I've ever had, and I loved it.
Fantastic.
I will say, it tastes really great with this sauce, so all you have to do to get the recipe is 206-448-4545, and we'll send a link straight to your phone. All week long, we've been helping you beat the heat with delicious meal ideas that don't require an oven or stove. And today's recipe comes from Simon Says, a Hawaiian restaurant in Renton. Chef RJ Ogo is here with all the fixins for shoyu ahi poke. Aloha, Chef.
Hello, aloha.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
So, all right, poke is the perfect thing to prepare when it's hot because there's no heat required. It's cool, it's refreshing,
Right,
it doesn't
right.
weigh you down. And it seems like there are a bunch of variations too.
There's lots of ways to customize it. It's really up to the chef or the cook or the family how they like it and
Yeah.
how they like to prepare it. So it's very customizable. That's
So
why it's,
what are we making today?
yeah, so today, I'm gonna show you guys this poke in its most basic form,
All right.
traditionally, and then I'll show you the modern day of how it looks.
All right, okay, we're ready for it. Let's
All right,
get
let's
started.
do it. Okay, so starting off with our traditional, it's really only 4 ingredients. So we have our ahi tuna,
Which is beautiful. I mean, look at the
yeah,
color on that.
beautifully
that is
diced,
gorgeous.
nice and pink.
Yeah.
We're gonna add some macadamia nuts.
Oh, okay.
Very traditional, get it, that savory note, very nutty. Hawaiian sea salt, it has to be sea salt. You want that coarse cut to
Yeah.
bring out the tuna.
All right.
And then of course, ogo,
Ogo.
or seaweed.
And that is like precious, very
Yeah.
fresh seaweed.
Yep, very basic. You really just wanna get a nice mix. You wanna lomi it.
Lomi it?
Lomi it means massage.
Okay.
Yeah, you really wanna massage the ingredients in there.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that looks good.
Yeah.
And it's simple.
Very simple, very
Okay.
simple.
And then what about when you, because the ahi you have here is absolutely beautiful.
Right,
How do
right.
you choose the right ahi?
So when looking for ahi, you want to look for a uniform color. You don't want any dark spots.
Okay.
You're also looking for fat content. You really
Okay.
want it to be,
Really lean, right?
Really
I mean, it
lean,
looks
yeah.
like yours is super lean.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, all right, hold on, get me a fork here. I got it, I got it. As I try this, tell me about Simon Says.
Yeah, so Simon Says is our Hawaiian restaurant that's based in Renton. And we do all the staples. We have Hawaiian barbecue, our Simon noodle soup, of course, which is very popular, and musubi.
And masugi.
Yeah.
That is really fresh tasting.
Yeah.
And the simplicity of the ingredients
Right.
just make it so
Right, you just really
flavorful.
want to taste the tuna. Yeah.
And you really do, and I love
Yeah.
that little bit of, the seaweed isn't overpowering, which
Right.
sometimes seaweed really can
Yeah.
do, so I like that. All right, what else are we making?
All right, so now we're going to go ahead and work on our shoyu, which
Okay.
is the most modern.
Okay.
So we're just gonna dice this up. And poke actually means to cut small. So,
Is that what it means?
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's what we're gonna do here. Just dice this up.
You're very good at that. You have a
Yeah,
very
thank you.
sharp
Lots of,
knife, that is
yeah.
key.
Lots of practice with this one.
Yeah. Do you have friends or family back in Hawaii?
Yeah, we do actually. Not in Maui per se, but we do have family in Hawaii.
It is really hard to see, what has happened, but with helping out others and keeping them in their thoughts,
Right.
it's got to be something that your family and you have really thought about.
Yeah, it's devastating to hear. We just want to give all the prayers in the world to those families that are affected, and also to those who are helping with the effort.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is the shoyu ahi poke.
Right.
So you've just diced some green
Yep.
onions,
We're gonna
but I
slice 'em.
notice you don't use the white part, you just use this part.
Yeah, we want to get that sweetness from
Okay.
the top of the scallion. This tends
Okay.
to be the more oniony. We're gonna
Alright.
add some sweet yellow onions to give it more sweetness as well.
Okay. And just about a quarter
Yep.
of an onion right
Yep.
there? Okay,
No need too
perfect.
much.
Okay, now what?
So now we're gonna add some soy sauce, our shoyu.
Shoyu?
Those.
Could you use aminos instead if shoyu affects you?
Yeah, you could. It's all customizable.
Okay.
However you prefer. Some oyster sauce.
Okay. A good amount of oyster sauce,
yep.
like a half a tablespoon?
Yep.
Okay.
We got our sesame.
Nice. And then,
sesame oil.
okay. And the sesame oil is just to really kind of bring out that flavor?
Right, yeah, you want to round it out, bring out the depth.
So how long do you let this marinate for? Like, what's ideal? Serve it right away or let it sit?
I'd definitely try to let it sit for at least 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you put it back in the fridge for that
Yep.
point? Okay. Oof. That's perfect for if you quickly want to make dinner.
Yeah.
And then it cools you down.
Yep, it's very low in calories and high in nutrients. So it's,
Yeah.
yep.
So what do you hope that when folks step away from your restaurant, what do you hope they take with you?
Just the experience, of just trying just really good flavors and really good barbecue.
It's like a little taste of the islands here at home.
Yeah.
I want to try. Oh, I got it. Get it. But I wanted that flavor. Oh, that is so
Yeah.
savory and good. And then what are you topping it off with?
This is some seaweed salad.
Seaweed salad.
Yeah.
Perfect.
This is my favorite.
This is the perfect. I think out of all the things we've tried, so many, this is just the perfect. No heat meal. You've got the protein. You've got all the things. So thank you so much
Yeah,
for sharing
thank you
this
guys for
with
having
us.
me.
Thank you
Thank
for
you.
coming. You're welcome back anytime. And get this, Chef RJ is sharing his recipe for shoyu ahi poke with us. And you can find that on our website, or you can just text the word recipe to 206-448-4545. We'll send you a link straight to your phone.